Hey everybody, it's Beth. Welcome to Infinite Garden. Today is a Saturday, and later this evening my husband and I have tickets to go to the symphony. So today we're going to do a little get ready with me video, and I'm going to be using Pat McGrath's Mothership VI. This is the Midnight Sun palette. This is the box for the Midnight Sun palette. But this is Pat McGrath's Mothership VI Midnight Sun, and I'm going to be putting something together that I plan to wear out tonight while I sit in a beautiful symphony hall with a mask on. It's going to be very eye focused. I'll probably do like a little bit of a simple matte lip or a lip stain, something that won't rub off on my mask. So if that sounds interesting to you, please stay tuned. I don't know that my swatches are as accurate as what the product photos show, so I'm going to just show you what this palette looks like from the official product photos. It's really quite beautiful. There's a lot of people out there who have said that this is maybe like a least favorite of the palettes, but for me personally, with my coloring, this is one of the most flattering of her palettes. I have several. I think I have 6 Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes, which is a ton, you guys. It's a ton. So I've been wearing this all week. Every single morning I've been waking up and putting on my eye makeup, and I've been using this palette all week. This is highly wearable for me. My skin tone has a slight yellow tone to the outer component of my skin and very cool olivey undertones. And this Pat McGrath palette really does flatter an olivey complexion. You can see here there's like, an ochre, there's the light brown matte is an ochre, and then this dark brown black is very beautiful and cool. There's a lovely khaki kind of army green, very, very olivey. The golds and the bronzes, the metallics are all a little bit on the cooler side. The copper is a beautiful red, and so also for me, one of the things that this palette's great for is showing off the green that's in my eyes. Because red and green are complementary opposites, sometimes a little bit of red around the eye can make the green components of your eyes show up more. And the reds that are in these colors, including the copper, are just red enough to do the trick without appearing like a primary red. It's very subtle and beautiful. Most of this week I've been really playing with the olive tones down here, but now I kind of have the desire to go down here with the purple. So I'm going to do a look that really focuses on kind of a smoky eye with this deep color. I'm going to use, I think, this shade as my blender. I'm going to put this on the lid, and I'm going to play around with that as a topper too. So stick with me. I'm going to go for it. Tap that off. This shade is called Taboo, and one of the best parts about a Pat McGrath eye palette are her mattes. I know people get really excited about the sparkle shades, which they're really fabulous, and I get excited about them too. But I'm a person who wears makeup every day, and I don't necessarily wear glitter makeup every day. So Pat's mattes are really the driving forces behind why I think you might consider buying one of these. Like, if you don't have a Pat McGrath palette, and you're thinking about it and you're wondering if it's worth it, one of the things that I would recommend doing if you're looking at them, because there are so many, I would first think about the mattes that you like. So in your palette, the one you go to every day, the color that you put on it every single day that looks best on you, that goes absolutely the best with your skin, the one you need to use always, I would check out her palettes and look for the palette that has the mattes in those shades. One of the reasons why I think that's so useful is that these shades go forever. Yes, they're expensive, but the pan that the eyeshadow comes in is big. It's a big pan. Like, if you compare it to a Natasha Denona, this is the Glam palette. There's a lot of eyeshadow in them, and so if you're getting the basic mattes that work best on you, you'll use this palette all the time, and you still might struggle to hit pan with it. They're very dense, beautiful mattes. They blend out really well. So for me personally, this one is a really flattering palette for me. I honestly feel like the ones that are best for me are her first one. I really like Subliminal. That's a super cool tone palette. It's full of taupes and like a beautiful blue. And I also love Divine Rose, which it was Mothership VII. I did buy Mothership Divine Rose 2 when it came out as well. I heard someone describe it as, like the more fun little sister of Divine Rose, and I I do like it, but that one's a little more obvious on me. That's a really great summer palette if I want to create a punchy look, but I find that one is like a little bit stretching beyond what's totally natural for me. So that's what I mean. If you're curious and you want to kind of consider one of them, look for the palette with the matte that looks the most like your favorite matte and see if the rest of it suits you. I'm also going in with this Hakuhodo little pencil brush and getting my under eye in. I'm going to deepen the outer corners of my eye with this color, which is Extreme Dusk, a black and brown. I'm using a Hakuhodo shader brush. You can see it's quite flat. So what I like to do is just get the pigment on the brush and then just draw a line along my crease. I have almond eyes, which means my eyes are not fully hooded, but they're more hooded than they're not, meaning when I open my eyes, I have very little lid space showing. It's mostly the upper part. So although they're not technically hooded, they're deep set and almond shaped. So I use the dark color primarily to create a little more depth in the outer part of it, just to make it look like I've got a little bit more of a socket, and so that my eyes look like they're popping through a little bit more. It's a very dramatic effect, but you can do this even with very subtle shades. Right now I'm using a very dark color because I'm using this palette, but you can use the same trick with two colors that are much more closely related. I guess you all know how to use eyeshadow, right? I bring this up because I kind of didn't, honestly. I didn't really know how to use eyeshadow. My very first good eyeshadow purchases, I think I bought some NARS duos back in the day. I bought Earth Angel, which was kind of like a purple and a green, actually, not too far off from these two colors. And then I had another one that was two neutrals in my shade range, one matte and one shiny. I was aware of makeup, but I didn't really know what eyeshadow could do for me personally until about in the last 10 years, two things happened. I became very close friends with a super talented makeup artist who helped to take me to school, which I needed. And my work changed in a way that required me to be present more often in kind of gala events or evening related events where I was working in an official capacity. My personal skill level wasn't good enough at that time for me to put together a credible evening makeup look. So this friend, on a number of occasions, generously did my makeup before these galas. And she was so good. She is so good at it. It was the first time I left having my makeup done where I actually felt like I looked how I wanted to look. I looked like me, only kind of a little fancier. And it was because she was really trained and she recognized what my eye shape is and what it could do, but how to achieve it. And she helped me understand how I could shape my eye to just get a really exciting effect. Fast forward, this friend and I no longer live in the same city, and I still have to go to these types of events sometimes. So a few years ago, I decided to take learning how to do my own makeup seriously. I didn't want to be in a situation where I had to find somebody else in town to do my makeup and find somebody who did it the way I wanted to, because now I'd unfortunately been spoiled. And so I decided it was really my responsibility to learn how to do my own makeup. And so for the last few years, I've been working on my fitness, as they say. And I think, I'm coming to you on this channel not as a beauty expert, but just as a person. I'm a person out here who's a consumer of makeup, and I have things to do and places to go, and I like to use this stuff to kind of set a tone. So I'm using this special shade. This is a color called Blitz Violet Orchid. This is an exquisitely beautiful color. The other thing about Pat's formulas is that some people are afraid of them because, especially if you're 40 plus or you have aging skin, you might think the glitter, there's no way that you could ever make the glitter work. I understand that. I know what glitter can do in some cases. But the truth is, with her shades, unlike some of these other ones, you can shear them out so that they're not in any way chunky, and they maintain this kind of silky consistency that doesn't seem to gather, but you can create the most beautiful reflective kind of wash with just just the lightest touch, which is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to try to get a cut crease or like a very dimensional graphic looking eye. That's not really how I wear makeup. It'd be fun to try at some point, but I really am a real person, and I'm going to the actual symphony later tonight, and I'm going to run into a bunch of people. I know at least 5 people who are going tonight, so I'm definitely going to be like seen tonight. I'll have a mask on my face, and people are going to see my eye makeup, so there's like a limit to how I want to take it, like past my normal day-to-day limit, but I don't necessarily need to go full on like all-nighter, kind of party. So I'm looking at myself right now in the mirror. It's interesting because in the mirror and the monitor, there's a little bit of a difference. I think in the monitor, I think it looks pretty dramatic, but in person, I feel like it looks extremely dramatic, like, whoa. And maybe this will kind of chill out when I get some mascara on it, but there's part of me that wants to get a big fluffy brush and just blend this in a little more. I feel like I have more work to do. Okay, I'm going to use just a little bit of the sparkle shade, and I'm just going to pick some up with my finger. Just, you can see, this color is so beautiful. This is Astral Solstice. Do you see that? Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I'm just going to put a little bit right here. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. It's so much. It ends up looking wet. Oh God, it's so pretty. I remember people were trash talking this color when it came out, this gold, saying that it didn't work right or something. I don't know what people were complaining about. I love this one so much. And that just heightened the sparkle effect. Oh my gosh. So now I'm back into Extreme Dusk, and I have a little tiny Hakuhodo brush. I don't know exactly what this one is called, but it's just like a flat, very small flat brush, and I like this one for putting on powder as my eyeliner right at the lash line. I find Pat's matte formula performs really well as an eyeliner. It's kind of amazing. It just sits down and it looks so diffused and beautiful. I've experimented with a lot of different liners, and I love, love, love eyeliner. But sometimes I'm just a sucker for drawing on the line with a dark shadow and letting it be nice and soft, and I've really been into that. It's the dead of winter, and where I live, that does mean some snow on the ground, especially this week. We got a bunch of it. And, in theory, I should maybe not be using makeup at all. I know a lot of people, this type of weather kind of gets them to like stop doing this stuff. But for me, I don't know what it is. If I'm kind of like cooped up at home, I'm doing a smoky eye every day with glitter. I really think it's fun. Looking at this, I want a little more depth under my eyes, so I'm going to bring this underneath. When I was reflecting on shopping and the lure of cosmetics, I really found that during the pandemic, beautiful makeup became a bit of an escape for me personally. It was something that I could do privately. I was really noticing the changes. I'm gonna smudge it out with this. At that time, the change that was going on in my coloring, because my silver hair was coming in, was causing me to explore, what my most flattering colors were. And I really leaned into that project and had a ton of fun with it. And so buying makeup became a part of that, you know, as I was starting to get a better sense of what my skin tone was and even what color my eyes are. All of it was becoming so much clearer once my natural hair color came in and I wasn't introducing these kind of like awkward, unnatural colors to my look. Everything became clearer and I was so excited to, you know, make the most of it and try out new beautiful eyeshadows and eyeliners and just kind of like clock it in. Plus, like, there was something nice about the privacy of buying these things and being able to try them and get it wrong a lot of times in a row. It was nice to be able to dig in and try and kind of like get over my skis, try something that I wasn't really an expert in. And, you know, if like it didn't work out, I could wash my face off, and I didn't have plans during the pandemic, so it wasn't like I was going to make myself late to someplace or any of that. Like, it just gave me a free pass to just play and play and play and play. And during that time, I feel like I learned a lot. I have very few, if any, regrets about any of it, but I think part of the reason why I wanted to explore a 6-month no-buy period was that I had, for a lot of years, not bought makeup and perfume and these things. I kind of had what I had, and I was fine. I wasn't paying attention to that. And once I had some time to direct attention to those things, I found that, you know, there was exploration to be had. You know, there were things I was very interested in, and I really enjoyed going on the hunt for those things. And that's fine. It really is. It's okay. But I also bought a lot, and I do think there is a problem in our culture with overconsumption and a drive to overconsume. I kind of am at, like, it's a push and pull thing for me. There's parts of me that do like to be a minimalist and kind of keep things around me very, very simple and very beautiful. But there's also part of me that's a bit of a crow. Like, I am attracted to bright, shiny things and I want them close to me. These are opposites I hold at the same time. And it wasn't really until over the Christmas, New Year's holiday, I took some extra time off and I spent a lot of that time organizing. When I started organizing all of my things, specifically like makeup and skincare, the things I'd been buying from Sephora for the last 2 years, you know, during this pandemic, once I started kind of like putting my hands on all of that, including all of the samples and every lipstick that I bought, I came to the conclusion that I had plenty and it was time to stop, and I wanted to make a really clear and, you know, honest try at severing some of those like neural pathways that lead me to shop for stimulation and pleasure, and try to focus on other things. As part of my 6-month no-buy, I am also really trying to pan all these open things I have. So this is just like a sample size Clinique High Impact Mascara. I definitely got this in the free gift. I think I have like 3 more of these. I don't mind this mascara at all. I'm glad I have a few more of them. It's been open long enough now. I've been using it almost every day for a couple weeks. It's starting to get kind of thick, which I don't mind. What color is this? This is an 01 black. It is a really serviceable black mascara. I did just get a clump on me. It is getting to the point, I think, a little bit where I might start clumping more than I want. I actually really like how this looks. I'm still gonna put on some lipstick though. I have from Pat McGrath's Luxe Trance line, I have the shade Realness, which is a really great one for me. It's kind of my skin, but better. And I'm gonna put it on straight from the bullet. I am gonna blot this because I'm going to be wearing this inside of the mask, so I just wanted to put down a layer of pigment, just something to finish out my lips, but I'm not going to line them or get a very precise look. So that's the look. This is how I use my Pat McGrath Mothership VI palette to give a real world evening out look. I love this palette. I've really enjoyed using it all week. I've been enjoying really focusing on a single palette and trying to get as many different kinds of looks out of it as I can. It's been really fun. I might stick with this one for another week or so. It's just so good and so flattering. If you enjoyed this, please hit the like button. It helps me know that you enjoy this kind of content. Anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well, and I hope you have a great week ahead. Thanks for watching.